What's going on with Colorado Springs real estate this week? Let's take a look. There are 1,013 properties for sale right now in Colorado Springs. Pardon my voice. I'm getting over a cold. I'm getting over hernia surgery too. This is like 2 weeks post hernia surgery, so I apologize for not. I'm not apologize. You can suck it. I took a break for YouTube long form video anyway, but so here we are, 1,013 properties for sale in Colorado Springs. If you zoom out, it doesn't show you quite the same way, like the individual pins on the map. It just gives you a general area to look at here. But so if I zoom in like that, I think it's fun to see the individual pinpoints of this is a visual of just how much is for sale. And again, it's only 1,013 total properties within Colorado Springs city limits anyway. And so we're up in Glen Eagle, approaching Monument area. This is Black Forest that we're looking in right now. But it's still low inventory. 1,013. I mean, last year we were trending like about 1,700 properties per month on average. At any given time, you would have that many for sale. And that was low inventory. So now we've been trending like 900-ish for a while. Now we're up to 1,013. That's great. Um, so let's switch to under contract, and you've got 1,223 matches. Same deal, kind of, you'll just see more of these pinpoints on the map. I think it's fun to look at. If we want to look at, let's look at how many of those for sales are houses versus, excuse me, versus condos and townhomes. There are 807 houses for sale in Colorado Springs. There are 54 condos and 144 townhomes. Let's look and see where those condos are for sale. Since there's not as many, it looks like we can zoom out and see still the individual pinpoints. So these condos, a majority of them look to be, well, a big chunk of them are west of I-25. Most of the rest are in between I-25 and Powers. So in an area that's historically, for the most part, already built up. But you've got, well, these condos don't have to be new. So these can be older condos. Some of them are down here south of Nob Hill in that Airport Road area. There's only like two east of Powers. So that's interesting. Let's go take a look at townhomes real quick. There's 144 for sale, and those are more evenly, I think, spread out through the city. They're just kind of all over the place. And let's take a look at one of them. Why not? Here's Enclave at Shiloh Mesa. This is 80908. This is 2 years ago, so this is a 2-year-old townhome. And look at that. What is that? That's an attached townhome. Well, yeah, is there ever a detached townhome? Uh, 515,000 two-story, almost 3,000 square foot townhome. My goodness. Built by Adamo Homes. Um, it looks great. It looks like a flippin' house. And you are sharing a wall, yeah, sure. And you're paying 500K for it. 4 beds, 4 bath. You don't have any. How much backyard space do you have? Did it show? You've got. Yeah, yeah, you've got some. I don't know how much of that is going to turn into usable because this is still. The pictures are showing me dirt. So, assuming it still looks like that, can you put a fence up? How much space do you get to play with exactly? If you're interested, just ask me if you care. I don't want to spend too much time looking at this. I wanted to actually get into stats. That's the whole point of this video, isn't it? So, looking at Colorado Springs, let's take a quick look at it right now. So you'll see the chart here. It hasn't changed too much. You can see it's fairly even. I mean, you had a little bit of a dip in the last half of 2022, and now you're starting to come back up price wise, as of the beginning of the year. So the average sales price in Colorado Springs for April was $493,731. The median sales price was 440,000. And again, those numbers are starting to come back up from what they were last year. So, August, September timeframe of last year is kind of where prices are at now. May, we're only like 8 days into the month of May, so the numbers that get spit out here, I don't typically look at. They're not really accurate until you get at least 2 weeks into the month to get a good gauge on what May is doing. But as of April, prices are still trending upward. Now let's look at the list to close price ratio, which is 100% for April. And as of May, it still says that it's also 100%. Now, we only had 100%. So, what that means is that what you listed the house for versus what you sold it for, that price ratio. So, like the last half of last year, let's say take December of 2022, homes were getting on average 96% of their asking price. So, and in July of last year, they were getting 100%. June of last year was 101%. So we're starting to come back up in terms of what people are listing their homes for versus what they can sell them for. Total active listings for April is 1,502. For March, it was 1,537. It's when was our low point? Our low point was March, or no, February, I'm sorry, 1496. And then last half of last year, you were in the 2300s for total number of active listings. So for May, we've actually got a good chunk so far, 1446 total active listings. But I suppose that's transferring over from last month. So average and median days on market, how long is it taking homes to sell? In April, it was 37 days on average and 9 days for the median. For May, again, we're early in the month, but May says 27 days on average, 8 days for the median. So that's come down quite a bit. And again, from last half of last year, it was up to like 30 days, 30-ish days. And things were selling quickly the first half of last year. So even June and July, median days of 5 and 8. I mean, things were going a lot quicker, and it's picking up again. It's not, necessarily over the weekend, though for some homes it is. I've got a buyer couple that we wrote a couple offers over the weekend and didn't get either one of them because they had multiple offers for either one, and they knew what they wanted. So it went quick for sure. The months of inventory and the total number of sales is the last thing that I want to look at, which for April, because we're not looking at May, because that is not correct. For April, 1.9 months of inventory. So 4 to 6 months is a balanced market. So that means that there's enough inventory that it's going to take 4 to 6 months for it all to sell if nothing new hit the market. And so to have that amount of inventory means that there's enough to choose from. Buyers don't have to get into a bidding war usually. And there are enough there's just enough homes to choose from. So to have 2 months of inventory is low. And again, it was higher for the last half of last year. We had more inventory, that was more that was available now. Everybody's kind of settled down. So my take on that is just because of the interest rates be hovering in between the 6 and 7%. And nothing seems to be changing that too much. The Fed recently announced their, 25-point basics hike, and everybody went, "Oh no, how could this be?" And meanwhile, they'd been telling you all this for every single week. They're like, "Yes, this is what we're seeing, and the jobs, they want job losses. The Fed wants job losses, and they're not seeing that." That's how they're gauging is what they're doing working. And so they're going to continue adding basis points consistently until they see their correction that they're looking for. Whether you agree with them or not, that's what they're doing. And so I continue to expect them to add basis points and therefore continue increasing the interest rates over time. And then, you can have a black swan event, you can have SVB, you can have bank bailouts, and just, oh, well, there you go. That affects the interest rates too. But I'm not expecting, that was a one-off event. So unless you're going to have more events that, some more economical or geopolitical events that happen that could potentially affect the interest rate's not going to get affected by anything here, as far as the housing market. The housing market, well, maybe it could, but, where is it? Well, show me the evidence for what is going to change the interest rates, because there's no reason for the interest rates to come back down to the fours or lower. And most people that, when the interest rates were that low, most people took advantage of that who could and bought their first house or bought a second property, so they could rent out and start building a portfolio and making, a little bit of life savings off of that. And so now, why do they want to sell? They don't. The interest rates are low. They got the property that they wanted. And so there's not much incentive to put inventory on the market. And so you're seeing that now with, less than 2 months of inventory. Total number of sales for April was 808. Not a lot. And for May so far, we've had 146 sales. And I'm going to show you historically what those sales look like. Here we go, past 5 years. So look at the past Aprils and again, what did we have? 100 and some properties that sold for May so far, and compare that to the past 5 years of, 1,300, 1,300, 900, 1,200, 1,300. Each May we were selling more homes than, and again, we're like, what, a third of the way ish through May, and that's not a lot of sales. So compare last month and look at April, 808 sales versus the past several months, 1,100, 1,100,000, 1,200, 1,200. So it has been lower consistently for several months. And so we're looking at actually, yeah, August, July. July was okay. July is when it started to come back down, and by August, yeah, we were because look at this chart with me, because if you're listening, you're not going to see it, but you'll see through here just how much fewer home sales that we have had since July, August of last year, and that trend has not come back up. So the inventory is just not there, unfortunately. And so that creates a seller's market, or at least, it's not a great time for buyers because you're back to multiple offers because there's no inventory, or you're back to frustrated buyers because there's no inventory and they say, I can't find what I'm looking for. There's just not enough. I'm not seeing what I want on the market. Yeah, that's what we're in right now. And so what is available, you either have to go with it, and even if you go with it, you still might have to bid more for it. There might be a multiple offer situation on it. And so that's the reality of the housing market that we're in now in Colorado Springs. All right, this one I just wanted to show you for fun. This I had a client send this over to me to ask who the builder was, and it's built in 2021. It's an 80924 Bradley Ranch, so it's close to that Cordera Wolf Ranch area. It is in that area. Two-story, 2,100 square feet, almost 2,200 square feet, four bed, three bath, 6,600 square foot lot. And so he was wanting to know who the builder was, who I looked it up. It's Melody Homes. I know nothing about Melody Homes, and I looked them up. There's an assisted living Melody Homes, but there is no actual Melody Homes builder. They just gone, disappeared. And I'm very confused. And so for me, for my job, I'm like, I feel like I should know what happened to them. Like I can't know everything, obviously, but I just this is what I have to figure this out now because I owe it. It's my duty to my client and my all my future buyers and everybody. Like I should know what the situation is here, what happened. Did they get bought out by another company? I mean, this house is only 2 years old. Why is there literally no information about it? So that's what part of one of the many things that I'll be doing today, work wise, is just, well, feel like this is just for the fun of it, but it's also a question that I want to answer beyond like, hey, here's the builder. Well, that doesn't help. Like, are they a good builder? You know, they disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't, they, that doesn't bode well for me. So unless I find something out, like, oh, they're bought out by this person because of, some whatever reason, and it's a great house or something, talk to the listing agent and find out if they know, but they don't always know. So that's me. That's what I'm doing. Quick update on that Melody Homes. So the assessor record had that incorrectly listed. I just simply asked the listing agent. I was like, they probably know. The seller has to know because they built it in 2021. So it's new enough. They should still have the paperwork. If it was an older house, then that's one thing. But I was just like, duh. So the listing agent told me it's D.R. Horton Homes. So if you want to look them up, I know who they are at least. But so mystery solved. Here's a quick little tip for you too. If you want to know what the mortgage rates are at any given moment, literally any given moment, you can go to mortgagenewsdaily.com. This is what I use. And see at the top right here, 30-year fixed rate 6.5%. That's a 5% gain from whenever the last time that they looked at this was. I don't know. But scroll down here. You can see historically all the info that you want. If you're a data nerd like me, oh, this is amazing. You get to see historically all the way through 2014 and maybe beyond if you click through here. But you can see what they're trending at right now. 6.55 as of May 1st. For a 30-year fixed. But if you're like, oh, wait, I'm military, there's VA down here, 30-year VA, 6.18%, FHA, 6.15%, last updated May 5th. Oh, that I want now. I was telling people this is now. Okay, the Mortgage News Daily Rate Index is published daily weekdays around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, got it. So we're not going to get an update on what the rates are today until 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. Okay, so 3 p.m. my time. Great. So come back then, or just look it up. I'm not coming back. All right, one more. Check out this house. This is mine for sale. So this is why I'm showing it to you. This is 495. It's in Northwind. So this is the neighborhood that I live in. Built in 1984, two-story. It is just south of Cottonwood Creek Park. Nice big open park, playground, bunch of stuff. And then there's Sunset Mesa open space back here, which is like I believe it's like a 3.5 mile backyard trek. It's not necessarily a public knowledge area, but it's right there. You can walk to it. So I thought that was cool. 2,700 square foot house, four beds, four bath, 6,200 square foot lot. If you are interested, let me know and I'll give you some more info. But these are pictures of the house here. I'll go through them a little quickly, but I don't want to spend too much time on it because if you're interested, you can look it up yourself, and I'll put a link to it in the description. So, uh, nice little area, like I said, good sized backyard. There's a good sized deck in the backyard, and the front's got a nice porch with this. So, as you see this big fat tree in front of the house, there's actually a porch with like seating and a little table underneath there. So, and it's like a built-in deck. So that's great for this particular street, I think, because Summer Breeze is a quiet street and it's not the through street in the residential neighborhood. So you have to like go off of the normal area to get to it. Not that far off, but what I'm saying is that you're only going to get the residential traffic of the people that live on that street. So this is a floor plan. So if you're interested, like I said, I'll put a link to it in the description. I hope you found this info helpful. If you did, leave me a comment below. And I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Colorado. So if you need any assistance with buying or selling property in the Colorado Springs area, let me know and I'd be happy to help with that too. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.